Well, people were not ready for Christmas horror when this first came out.
No, I don't.
In the
I
US.
wasn't.
There was a lot of protests in the U.S. about this, not just
Ruining Christmas. It ruined Christmas for a lot of people. I don't want to name names.
Yeah, definitely not alcohol or family trauma. It's for sure the movie.
Yeah. It was that movie, not my dad.
Yeah. Hey, that's the last that he yelled at you.
Yeah.
He's like, Black Christmas made me do this, Ray.
Yeah.
Sorry if I
and
brought
that
you back there.
resonated with me.
Yeah.
I took that to heart. Yeah.
Oh my God. Now you
And I was
finally
like,
watched it.
that movie ruined my family.
So, still a good movie.
Still a good movie.
Man getting bit by an alligator scream.
Swallow this.
Welcome back to your favorite horror movie podcast. It's Reasonably Afraid. I got my co-host with me. We got Sean Dolan.
Hello.
And we got Ray Reyes.
Hi.
It's your first time here. Thanks for joining us. We're a horror movie podcast with three comedians who try to make it funny for you while giving you fun facts and maybe touching your heart a little, you know?
And not anything else.
Yeah.
You got to be clear about that because comedians nowadays not getting the best rap.
Not great.
Not getting the best rap. They're not going to let us touch our hearts if you keep touching other places without us asking. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So great Christmas message.
Yeah, dude.
Consent matters.
Yeah.
Consent matters, dude.
Christmas. So we want to, right up top, just thank our Patreon members. Nicole and Kelly are our top tiers, so we thank you guys right at the kickoff of the episode.
Thank you, Nicole and Kelly.
Seriously, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks. And
Paying
thank
the
you
bills.
guys. What?
Mhm.
Paying the bills.
Yeah, thanks.
We
And
can finally start making payments towards the credit cards of, that are backed up because of podcast equipment.
So on this Christmas, it is the 50th anniversary of Black Christmas.
Oh, it is.
That's right, yeah.
Whoa.
Which is pretty awesome. The original, of course, not the remake.
Yes.
That would be silly.
Mhm.
then it'd be like the 100th year
Yeah.
anniversary of the original, if that was the case.
Yeah.
That's true.
Maybe.
So this film has a lot of things said about it. Some of it true, some of it false.
Mm.
We're gonna,
But things have
separate-
been said.
Things have been said. No one can
heard
say things
it
haven't been
wasn't
said.
well received when it first came out.
That is correct.
Which is bullshit.
But there's also a lot of lore to this movie, as horror movie fans know.
Yeah.
Considered to be the first slasher, despite the fact that,
Halloween is technically the real first slasher.
Yeah.
well, everybody.
Well, I mean, also Chainsaw came out. Texas Chainsaw came out before Halloween
About
too. So
Texas Chainsaw came out 6 months before this.
really?
Yeah.
What?
The fact that this movie gets called the original slasher when Texas Chainsaw came out first is fucking nuts.
Right.
It's crazy. You also had Mario Bava's Bay of Blood in '71. You had Peeping Tom. You had Psycho. So there's a lot of, but
Yeah.
we would call those
There's a
proto
lot
slashers.
of proto slashers.
Sure.
Torso.
However, Texas Chainsaw, clearly the first slasher.
Yeah.
If you want to go based on like the '70s.
I would say I think why people say that though
Mhm.
is because like Texas Chainsaw had some of that like setup of like what we know as like cliche slasher stuff or just like that kind of like basic like base form shit. I think Black Christmas definitely has the most of like this is where slashers are going for the rest
Sure.
of like the horror genre and stuff like that with the POV shots and the final girl aspect, and Texas Chainsaw dabbles in it. I think Black Christmas solidifies it really
Sure.
hard.
Well, you could definitely make the argument that both of those movies simultaneously
Are doing it, yeah.
Yeah, like the trip out to like the Cabin in the Woods movies. It's always the trip out, but
Mhm.
this is the first movie to have like at least that is in the public's mind to have like the van full of kids going somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Black Christmas is all like the people all in the one house getting picked off, right? So like,
Mhm.
if you haven't seen Black Christmas in a while or at all, which one of you would like to do a synopsis of the film. It'll be a quick one, you know. Obviously, we don't want to get too hung up on that, but we can do like a quick knock it out. Seems like it might be more your speed, and since you,
I really like this one.
yeah.
I really like this one. So, very quick setup. Sorority. Very much a huge college vibe. College girls, you know, being a little promiscuous, getting a little tipsy, a little drunk. They have their den mother who's there, also getting a little tipsy, getting a little drunk, even though she's responsible for these kids. Literally responsible, but you know, it's not bad. Very quickly up front, the first girl gets killed. That happened very fast after a very weird phone call that they had been receiving a few times. Just like really creepy shit. One of the main girls has an argument with the girl who eventually gets killed. She is now presumed missing, where her dad shows up because she didn't show up to meet him. And so most of the film is them trying to figure out where she went. Little do they know, there is a fucking serial killer in the attic, because he had snuck in, killed her, now keeping her in the attic, her body, and then just slowly, one by one, starts picking them off. While they're all trying to figure out where the original girl went, they also find another body in the woods while they were having a search party for another missing girl. There's a storyline between the final girl, who is pregnant, and her boyfriend, and there's a little bit of a, is it him? Because they were going through, like, clearly what is, like, very rough patch in their relationship, because she doesn't want the baby, and he wants the baby, and he's being an awful dude, and being like, you better have that fucking baby, and she's like, I don't want the baby, and, you know, it becomes a little wild, little, you know. That whole storyline too is very it's beautiful for its time and place, you know. Eventually,
How's it end?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Don't you fucking rush me.
Tell us.
Don't you rush me. So dude starts killing everybody. They try to chase the phone call. Turns out it's coming from inside the house, which that's the first time that has actually been used. It's one of the first references to that fucking line. The call's coming from in the house. But by the time she knows that, it's too late. Boyfriend shows up. She's suspicious that it's him. She hits him over the head with something. They pass out. I don't know if he died. Did he die? They were kind of vague with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died.
She killed him.
She killed him by accident. Didn't know it wasn't him. Kind of figured it was him.
Well, I thought... Okay.
They actually don't solidify that.
They don't solidify whether or not he's dead.
My confusion was.
So let's get into that. But how does the end the credits?
So she passes out. Cops were around her, and then they leave her alone, thinking that it was the boyfriend. Did not check the attic.
Why would you?
Why would you? He comes down and then finishes the job.
Supposedly. There's no proof.
Kind of vague. There's no proof that he did, but we kind of
the film ends. We can actually start here.
Yeah, can you not put your own biases in this when you're giving an objective synopsis?
Sorry. Did I? Yeah, I did.
I didn't know.
I didn't mean to.
That was my whole thing. Can I just say real quick before I was like,
well, let
hey,
me say
I got
how it
some
ends. Let me
questions.
say how it ends
Yeah,
objectively first.
Objectively.
Film ends with the camera pulling out.
Yeah.
And the phone ringing and ringing and ringing. And what we can say here and now is that throughout the movie, every time he kills, he calls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that someone calling to check up on the officers? Because theoretically, someone should be there with her, and someone's calling to check on her.
There was an officer outside of the
right
outside of the house,
and so it's a question of, it was someone calling to get a hold of her, to get a hold of one of their daughters, maybe. You know, there's some kids who were there that their parents might not know, or
did he already kill her and call?
And I feel like the implication, I feel like personally, it's heavily implied that because he calls after each kill,
he finished the job.
He finished the job. So.
Which is so dumb. It's so, honestly, okay.
The ending does piss me off a little bit.
What the fuck? They had so many. You know, 2 bodies are still missing. You know, he was coming from inside the house, not necessarily the whole time, But by the end of it, he was inside the house. Where the fuck? You see, it's not like it's like, oh, maybe there wasn't an attic. There's a fucking huge ass window. Like that's
He's
you
in the
see.
window the whole time.
Yeah.
Fucking. Okay, the only thing though, here's my question about it, because Ray was pretty confident that the boyfriend wasn't involved, but I thought it seemed a little vague that maybe he was like in some capacity.
Sure.
At the same time, like they
Involved
were working in
the
tandem.
murders? Oh,
Yeah, like him and that crazy person, because I mean, the thing still does reference a baby and stuff, and like. That guy was pretty menacing. And I don't know, when he kills that one girl in the bedroom and it shows a glimpse of his face, I'm like, it does kind of look like him, too.
It does kind of look like him,
Sure,
yeah.
I felt like maybe they got, like, he's got fucking, like that he's got multiple personality syndrome, but the other thing just manifested.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
that was an
almost a
assumption,
Fight Club
but-
thing.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. Are we really saying that guy he didn't kill anyone? For sure.
You mean the boyfriend?
Is the movie like? Honestly, I didn't read up, and I didn't want to like. I didn't want to see what
It
the.
is weird that he knew she was in the basement.
Yeah.
Cause like that's one thing that I questioned. Like when he showed up at the end,
Sure.
how did he know she was
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there?
No,
Because
exactly.
like why was? Because there's no reason you don't walk up to someone's house and be like, she's clearly in the basement. Like
Yeah.
he didn't knock on the door.
No.
He didn't like call ahead. He just immediately went straight through to the basement, which like makes me question like either it was him or he like was working with the guy.
Okay. Well, there's very little evidence to back that up in terms of hints and clues.
I know.
It's vague, but I feel like it's vague on purpose, and I do
Sure.
like that.
Yes, it's definitely vague on
Yeah.
purpose. It's left. I kind of like what they did here with it, where it's like you don't know who that is. It's scarier.
That's what I was just
yeah.
telling Sean earlier,
Yeah.
where it's just like you never actually see the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only see like glimpses of him, and
Yeah.
like that made it much more terrifying.
If you want to see what it would be like to know who exactly the people are and like what it would be like to get a different version of this, you can watch the 2006 remake. But I think what becomes very apparent is the mystery is far more terrifying. And even in the way that the gore is done and everything, and like, I mean, not the gore, but like the kills and all that, like the remake has heavier on gore and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like all the stuff that would be the expectation of a horror movie that Bob Clark purposely didn't do is the stuff that made it better.
Right.
And
Right.
then you have a physical way to check that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's pretty cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And now I just yeah. It makes me think I'm like,
Yeah, it is.
what the fuck was that?
It does a good job of just like sitting with you. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like, and that I think that's what makes it a classic. Is just like that fucking.
You think common like a lot of the discussion though, it's not. Do most people just not consider the boyfriend to be a part of it at all? I don't know. Are you supposed to be like, oh my god, it's like, oh, she killed him on accident. She shouldn't have done that. He was like totally not going to do anything.
Well, it also doesn't even fully express whether or not she did it. They even leave that to where you're like, well, did they have a thing and then he came down there and killed him and left her alive, or who knows what? Like,
Right.
But I mean, I would think that's more accurate, is that she's the one that she was defending herself in her mind, and he's defending himself. You know.
I mean, I don't know about him defending himself.
Well,
I mean, but he was violent. They did imply that he was violent.
Yeah.
I mean, he fucking destroyed a grand piano with a mic stand, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I love the way that this movie came out, and it's the same old story. You know, you don't give them a ton of money and tell them to make a masterpiece. You give them what they can give them, and then people make it work.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Dude, imagine being a horror fan in 1974 when like that wasn't even really like the 80s really like started like a
Yeah.
general idea of being a horror fan.
No, I mean it's so easy for me to put myself in those shoes because going into this, I thought I was watching a Tyler Perry movie.
Medea's Christmas,
Yeah.
also known
Yeah.
as Black Christmas.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, this is a nice change of pace. I'm getting tired of these scary movies. And no, lo and behold, people are dying.
Medea goes to a sorority.
Yeah.
This was definitely a turn in a new direction for this franchise.
So we do got to get this out of the way. Black Christmas, 1974, made in Canada.
Yep.
98
Toronto.
minutes. What's going on? You're very popular over here. So we do want to talk about a couple of these things. Bob Clark, the director, this was, in hindsight, this became his first cult classic movie. But Bob Clark actually started in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Really?
Yeah. In the early 70s, I know you remember me talking about the movie Frogs before, which is like same plot as Jaws, kind of. The whole we got to shut down things because it's the 4th of July, and a lot of early 70s movies. Florida was just like a kind of a poppin' place. South Florida was like getting things made that, at least in the indie circuit,
And now you're not allowed to watch porn there, so.
Well, just Pornhub. You could still probably get away with, you want to name a couple?
Hey, you want to fucking put your ID in to the fucking porn site?
Great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. How everybody likes to do that. But so his big movie before transitioning, he had transitioned into this film were Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things from 1972, which he made in South Florida. And also Dead of Night is another one, 1974. So he actually made that. It got put out in 74, but he was shooting in 73. So he made 2 films in Florida and then went, you know what? I'm moving to Canada.
Spend enough time in Florida, you want to get the fuck out of the U.S.
Yeah, but it's funny to think about, in Florida we have all the snowbirds. Snowbirds are all the people who go down to Florida who are trying to escape the cold. And he's the only motherfucker to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to Vancouver.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to Ontario. So anyway, he moved up to Canada and pretty much immediately got this job, which is pretty dope for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He did good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Were those other 2 movies like well regarded?
They got some cult followings now. They're not exactly. This is, I would say, the original. This and Texas Chainsaw are the 2 like biggest cult following movies for horror of 70s horror, to kind of start that really,
And this one had like a very delayed response in terms of like its praise.
Absolutely.
Because I can honestly can see why. Because this movie was wildly progressive for its time.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like it's like it's all mostly female cast, acting so against societal expectations, especially for the 70s.
Yeah.
I will say there were no black people though in Black Christmas.
Still the 70s. Oh, I'm sorry. We got. They at least were trying.
Okay.
Well, this movie is credited as being a lot of firsts, including the first slasher, but also first POV, first Steadicam, first call from inside the house. These are all not entirely accurate.
Right. Well, because first POV would probably be Peeping Tom.
Yes, but there's actually I think Rope is it's a Hitchcock movie where it's what they did was they were able to utilize the best parts of POV Steadicam. It was not actual Steadicam in terms of like the company Steadicam, that like the chest thing that you can hold, and like the gyroscope thing hadn't been made yet.
There's fucking with Sean's shirt.
There's shirt now. Yeah, so the Steadicam hadn't been invented yet with like the gyroscope
Right.
stabilizing thing. But they utilized the camera in a way to where, I mean, it's really impressive. The camera op like plays the villain most of the time. The hands you see is the dude. He was able to mount the camera to himself in a way to where he could use both his hands. That scene where he's like climbing in the beginning, he did that. The camera op did it with a 70s
impressive.
camera, not like a little DV camcorder.
This is a big fucking camera.
It's a big fucking camera. And
He's
climbing.
the villain.
Yeah,
Back strength, dude.
That guy.
he did great, man.
That's impressive.
Yeah. One of the first slashers was a camera op. That's pretty wild.
He's OP.
There's some other things where the call coming from inside had been used before, but not through a telephone. There was like there's one where like somebody had been using a radio wave and it was inside the same premises, and they think it's like coming from outside. Like it's very convoluted. But what can be said is that this film 100% utilized all the things that everybody credits it for as being the first. It's like not to be a dick about it, but there's a reason why people don't remember those other ones.
Right.
Like the film's it's all got to come together in like the perfect way. And it was all one you can say it was definitely the first one to utilize horror and celebration, right? Like some kind of actual like Halloween. Like there was nothing like that before. Like a holiday and horror just was not combined before this in terms of like blatantly calling it, hey, people getting murdered on Christmas, So pretty sick.
I think probably be more accurate to say it's the first to popularize those things.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily the first to use them, just
Right.
the first to popularize it.
Right. And then people just like the idea of like calling things out. So everybody goes like, actually, well, it's like, hey, it's all very gray. Like no need to, act like you're better than. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's more like hack Christmas. It's been done before, brother.
Nice.
Fucking
Hack Christmas.
Hack Christmas.
Fucking Christ. All right, let's move on.
No, we should linger on that. Everyone sit for a moment and think about what we just said.
Really soak it in.
Hacks.
So some things that you may know Bob Clark from as the director of this, he was never necessarily setting out to be a horror director. He it's some of the easiest ways into filmmaking is through horror. He actually made Porky's 1 and 2.
What is that?
Porky's is wow. Okay.
You don't know Porky's?
It sounds. I mean, I've heard of. Pork.
What's this guy's? What's the fucking?
It's an incredibly popular 80s.
Yeah,
Really? Should I know it? Like,
as a comic, sure.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I've never seen it, but I know of it. Just because it's definitely referenced a lot for like 80s comedy. It's like one of those.
Man,
I don't think it holds up though.
Can we actually pause this real quick? Let me go watch it real quick.
Yeah.
We'll
keep going.
Who's the main guy in
All right, I'm back. That was good.
Well,
I preferred the second though.
Well, I got another one for you.
Nice.
He actually recorded
John Belushi.
John Belushi.
One of John Belushi's biggest notable movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he also did both of the Baby Genius movies.
Did he really? Bob
Now
Clark?
that's something. Hey, now I know that.
Now, yeah, here we go.
I've seen them, but I know I've heard of them. I've heard of Smart Babies before. I know they are out there.
Someone's like, I haven't seen them. I'm too nervous.
Yeah.
I know how great they are.
Yeah. I've heard. I have a lot of respect for what they've done in the film industry.
Yeah.
I mean, you always heard that babies kind of probably know things, but then to see it on the screen, you're like, okay, this is for real.
Now, by far, yeah, this is for real.
Okay, no, these babies are actually
geniuses.
smart.
Yeah.
These are actually genius babies.
Now, debatable for you and your generation, maybe, but there is
No, they're still smart. I'd
okay.
say.
No, not
You
that.
give them iPads. They're giving iPads at too young of an age. I agree, but I think they're still they still have the human thirst for knowledge.
Yeah, they're very curious babies.
Yeah, very curious.
So
They understand that knowing the answers only gives you more questions. You know?
so So Bob Clark actually he made the sequel of probably one of the most famous movies in existence now, thanks to Turner Classic Movies buying the rights to the original of this. So
Superman.
the sequel, close. The sequel is called My Summer Story. Do you want to know what the sequel of My Summer? What is a sequel to? A Summer Story.
You fucking time.
I'll go ahead and drop it on.
My
I didn't
Summer
even know
Story.
it was a fucking sequel.
Yep. So
What is?
So Bob Clark made this sequel to his 1983 classic, A Christmas Story.
Wait, what?
Bob Clark directed A Christmas Story.
Bob Clark being Black Christmas.
Black
Yeah.
He did this,
He did this
9 years apart.
and the Christmas Story.
and also,
Dude loves
I'm getting a
Christmas.
lot. I'm getting a lot of information at once. You guys just look.
It's overwhelming. This is Sean
Also-
processing.
It's fucking
Wait,
mind blowing.
wait.
Dude.
Also, the Christmas Story is a sequel.
No.
It's the opposite.
Summer
It's
Story is a sequel to A Christmas
to Christmas Story. I didn't know that. Wow,
Yeah.
what happened there? Did Bob write that one too?
Well, A Christmas Story did not do well when it came out.
That's
The
wild.
reason why everyone knows A Christmas Story is because
It was free.
Ted Turner bought the rights to two movies, and he would play them nonstop. And it was A Christmas Story and It's a Wonderful Life. And then he just said, "Oh, it's a marathon." He literally earned back all the money those movies didn't make. Well, not the other one, but A Christmas Story. All the money that it didn't make in theaters, he made it back in advertising by saying, "We're going to do a movie marathon of A Christmas Story," and then just ran it for 24 hours.
So this, like Bob Clark, both completely like created some of the greatest, like, well, I don't want to say created, but like helped mold like an entire genre.
Yeah,
in
what it
horror.
means to be an American.
And
Kinda,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Wow.
insane. Like this man's cultural impact on those two movies alone is massive.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's bananas.
nuts.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Probably the most like maybe not beloved, but known.
Why is this not
Christmas
more
movie. Yeah.
known?
It's just some people are into fun facts and some people don't give a shit about them, so I guess that's why. But it is crazy to think that the guy that made like what's the quintessential slasher and also the quintessential Christmas movie.
Yeah,
I mean, it's nuts, you know? And
that is crazy.
yeah. Anyway,
He was just like, holiday movies, I dominate.
yeah.
Where's Easter? Give me Easter.
Give me fucking Easter.
Give me Easter. They're like, you need to calm down,
Oh
dude.
Don't even let me get a hold of St. Patrick's Day. I'll fucking the fucking who's the leprechaun? I'll show you what we got over here. Yeah.
Bob Clark, didn't he co-write the Bible?
He's a co-producer on the Bible.
Yeah.
And then Ted Turner bought the rights.
And then showed it nonstop
Yeah, he's like,
For-
it's a marathon.
for 4,000 years.
You're all Christian now.
Hey, it's like, whose name is scratched up on the bottom of the Declaration of the? Is that Bob Clark?
Bob Clark. Yeah, well,
Hell, he kind of helped found the country, you know.
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, man. Once I wrote Christmas Story, I was like, well, what's next? I get bored quick.
What's left to do?
I didn't do the New Testament. I was done after the old.
Yeah. I'm working on this new thing. I'm out of films, but I'm working on this new thing. It's called the Patriot Act.
Oh shit, Bob Clark.
Bob Clark?
He wrote
Which
that?
also has a sequel.
Oh my god.
All right. So the writer Roy Moore, that guy, he's actually had a pretty illustrious career. But he's mostly worked on a lot of TV. He went on to do stuff that was not necessarily horror related, but good for him. The Last Chase is probably one of his more popular movies. People from the 80s remember that. It was from 81. But this is pretty cool. The composer, Carl, I think it's Zitterer is how you pronounce his name. Zitterer. No, I'm shit-faced and you guys don't know it. It's Carl Zitterer. So he actually, he's worked on pretty much anything Blob.
Zittler.
You all right? You all right?
Blob Clark.
This is
Bob
what,
Clark.
yeah, this is what you get when
This
you
guy's
get.
name has ruined my mouth.
What's that guy's name? Zittler.
Zitterer.
Zitterer sounds like a guy that
That had too much
He likes
chocolate.
popping zits.
Yeah, he's a Zittler.
Oh, Zittler, get it over. Oh, you got one? Let me see it.
Yeah, he's a throwaway Batman
No,
character.
come on, I'm a big time Hollywood writer. Let me pop your zit. Come here. I'm a star. I'll make you a star. Give me your zit.
I like the idea he's a Batman villain. You'll never stop me from popping those zits, Batman.
He gets me too for. Everyone's like, well, it's not that bad. No, he popped them all the time.
It's painful. Dude.
Yeah, I didn't ask for that shit. And if it's not consensual, you shouldn't pop people's zits.
No.
To be fair. I
So
mean,
this guy doesn't get
He's
enough.
doing blackheads. It was like, dude, chill.
oh, I think you're gonna say black. Dude, he's in blackhead.
Yeah, he's in blackface popping
All
pimples.
right. So he's the composer of the film. But he did this really cool thing. He wanted it to be eerie, and you know what's cool about these 70s movies is not having the cookie cutter stuff, right? Like the cookie cutter, like the simple cardboard cutout of what a horror movie should be. The 80s spent there's a lot of original stuff in the 80s, but a lot of 80s stuff is take that and try and reproduce it, right?
And all they had right now was the dough.
Exactly.
So
Just a pile of dough.
No,
You know?
you can't. You
What do we
gotta-
do with it?
you gotta make that yourself. What's this? Oh, did I just make a gingerbread man? Write that down. We just invented a man.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in Shrek one day.
And he will be played by Gary Busey one day.
Oh my God! Wait, what?
Just
You're right.
ruining Shrek. I got my lines. I don't need the script.
Oh, that would have been so much better.
Watch
That
our
would have
Ginger
been a
Dead Man.
wild movie. If
Watch
he
Ginger
played,
Dead Man if you
Yeah.
haven't watched it. And our episode on
And
it.
Shrek.
Right.
If you haven't seen
Shrek.
that,
Yeah, Shrek's a banger,
Yeah, why not
dude.
plug Shrek?
Yeah, Shrek holds up, dude. Especially Shrek 2.
All right, so this composer, he was pretty amazing what he did. He was like, I want it to be extra creepy. He took silverware and tied it to the strings of the piano. He went into the piano and tied forks and knives and shit to it. So when he would hit the keys of the songs he was playing, it would like clang metal together underneath. And
That's why it sounded like that.
yeah, I mean it's terrifying. Like,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
he also would put pressure when he would record. He would put pressure on the reels so that it would strain the tape, and then that's like another reason why even like the regular music even sounds extra creepy and weird and kind of off. He was like purposely altering the recorded music so that the outcome of it turned out to be totally different. So he recorded
Yeah.
it and then would change it by pressurizing it.
That's so fascinating, dude.
It's unreal. Like this guy deserved, and then it stressed him out so much he took 30 years off.
Well, actually,
And then he came, yeah. He did. What did he do here? He did She Devils, Blood Orgy of the She Devils and Prom Night, which are two pretty.
But what did he do during
pretty
those
great.
30 years?
He
fucking-
was designing Project Blue Beam.
You want to try it again? Try it again.
Is it, dude, I know it's is it Project Blue Gem? Like what is it?
Project Blue Beam.
It's Project Blue
Yeah.
Beam.
Yeah.
It's I've
We've
literally
all-
been it's all over my TikTok recently, but
Yeah.
it's like the joke is everyone is purposely fucking up the name. And so now I don't even remember
don't know
what
how
the
to
fuck
say
the
it right.
name is anymore.
Project. For those of you who don't know, that's where we pretend like aliens. The government's supposed to pretend like aliens are coming back so they can call martial law or something.
Yeah.
We don't need
That's-
to get
we
into
wouldn't
that.
even
That's
need
a whole.
that to call martial law.
It's a whole other podcast.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Tie it in quick.
Yeah, yeah, figure it out. Okay, so we got some pretty great actors in this that went on to do some fun stuff. But
Name one.
before we hop into them,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, never mind.
we're gonna give a little shout out to Reginald H. Morris. Okay, he was a cinematographer.
Oh.
He did such films as King of the Grizzlies, A Name for Evil, Porky's 1 and 2, and A Christmas Story, of course, and Loose
Wait,
Cannons. which are all-
what? King of the Grizzlies is a name for evil. What are you talking about? No, it's not.
We're moving on.
I just blacked out. What did I say?
You know what? We should do it like this. I'm gonna let you guys pick the actor, and then we'll talk about them,
Okay.
or pick the character.
Yep. Boom. I want. Well, let me go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The bozo of a cop, not the lieutenant. The one.
I feel like I've seen him in
that
other
he was
things,
like,
though.
"Don't fuck this up, or I'll kill you." And then he was like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Don't tell her that the killer's in the house with her." And then after 30 seconds of her not leaving the house, he goes, "The killer's in the house! The killer's in the house!
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta get the fuck out of here!" And actually, I was kind of like, I kind of respected the passion. Though I was like, dude, I feel like that might have worked. That could have worked in a different situation because he was like, "Get the fuck out, man!"
Why don't you just leave?
Fuck. He's like spitting into the phone. Fuck. Leave. And then he stops for a second and just goes, "Hey, seriously, can you leave?" Seriously, wait, hello? Are you still there? Please leave.
Seriously,
He
I need to
does
get
shift
out.
tone. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, he's the least persuasive person to have given that job to.
I'm so fucking scared for you. Please get the fuck out.
If you don't fucking leave, I'm gonna kill myself.
I'm serious. I got a gun to my head right now. She's not. She already left like 20 minutes ago. I'll fucking do it. The line's disconnected.
Yeah,
That guy.
I didn't write anything down.
Okay, you didn't.
He hangs up.
He
and
was.
just-
Wait. He wasn't one of the good actors. Fuck.
Yeah.
No.
you know,
really?
I'll be honest
He
with
hangs
you.
up the phone and he's just like, I don't know why I'm just so bad with women.
It'd be funny if actually that was like he did a bad performance. Like, they like saw that and they're like, well, this guy can't act either.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't.
that's so good.
I don't know if that's. I don't think that's the guy that I looked everything up for.
He was
so.
supposed to be playing a really good and competent cop in the movie, but he just couldn't. Boo!
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
same cop that she gave the number to that was like fellatio, which I didn't
Yeah.
even get that joke. I was like, why are there letters in this number?
So there used to be
He's
there
like-
used to be call signs for telephone numbers back.
He's like, all cops are bastards. Well, I don't have any ass turds. I pooped earlier.
Yeah, they did make him like painfully stupid.
Yeah, he was
But
real
he was
dumb.
fun to watch.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
All right,
great.
wait, can I pick a different guy then?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick a woman this time.
Okay, pick a woman.
First lady that died.
What was her
that died.
name?
You didn't get anything on her either.
This is
Okay,
you know
I'm picking
you know
all the
this,
wrong
this,
answers.
is this is
You're
my
picking
fault.
side characters, man.
Wait, no, I do got that one.
Dude, she
The
was
first lady that
Whoa.
died.
Yep. With the skin.
Yeah, Claire.
Yes.
Claire.
Yes. Her real name is Lynn Griffin, and she was the grandma in Thanksgiving that we just covered.
Wait,
Oh.
shit.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. Which she's not even a major character in Black Christmas, but it was really cool that Eli Roth took the time to
Yeah.
make sure he got someone from one of his favorite movies that clearly inspired the idea for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving in a lot
This
of
is
ways.
pretty. Like, this movie is pretty revered among like horror
Oh,
directors.
yeah.
Because like Wes Craven cited it, and like
Mhm.
you even see that like in Scream. Like
Yeah.
you see where because like the whole boyfriend, is it the boyfriend or not? Like
Mm.
that's the same plot line in Scream. Like,
Right.
so it's clearly he was just like inspired by that.
Yeah. She went on to actually have a pretty good career. I mean, she did a lot of stuff after this, and was able to pretty much, I mean, make a career out of, like, a lot of people don't get to keep acting after a lot of these low budget movies, as we've seen. It's usually like one or two movies that they get to do after, if anything, and then every now and then somebody keeps going because they did get some more renowned actors. I'm gonna actually pick pick Ray's for him because I think he's gonna really dig this. How much do you know about the person who played Barb, Margaret Kidder? Margaret Kidder.
Not much.
Okay, well, one of
But
the
when I was researching, her name did come up a bunch. But
Yeah.
I think she was she seemed like she was probably the more famous actress. One of
Yes.
the more famous actress.
Correct.
In the movie.
one of the great things about her, she insisted that on set they really drink.
Hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah, dude!
I told you I had you, dog.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Um,
I want to say my favorite thing about this movie was the absolute like drunken dichotomy between Barb and Miss Mac.
Miss Mac,
Miss
yeah.
Mac. Like they're just two different types of alcoholics.
Yeah.
Where it's like Miss Mac is the lovable alcoholic,
Yeah.
hiding alcohol everywhere. To where it's like a comedic, like
Yeah.
pulling alcohol from like the back of the toilet,
yeah.
dude. Like, and then everyone loved her. She was sweet. She was kind to everyone. She's a little bit of a badass. Very kind to everyone. And then you got Barb, who's just like, everybody's got a fucking problem with me. And how you just come out and say it? Just come out and say it. You're
Everybody.
either a Barb or you're a Miss Mac, dude.
You think you're fucking better
You
than
think
me?
you're fucking better than me?
Okay. So she tragic. No. Tragically, she committed suicide in 2018.
rough.
She had a really rough life, but she was in a lot of things. I mean, she's
Like a beautiful life.
such a You know what, man? True artists. Sometimes you just go out like a true artist. You know.
Yeah.
Did a bunch of cool shit and then said, "Fuck you, I'm out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's actually in another movie that we covered, the Amityville Horror. She's the original. She's the
shit.
wife in that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And you know what she
That's
said
not
about
recognized.
you know what she said about the Amityville Horror?
It was
Said-
like, let's drink on set.
She said, "What a piece of shit." Publicly, those exact words. That's a quote. What a
Really?
piece of shit. That's what she said about the movie
Yeah.
after it came out.
I think we agreed with her, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she knew. She was like,
Yeah, she knew.
I think she did a little research and she was like, "Oh, this is fucking nonsense."
Yeah, dude,
Like-
she sounds so fucking cool.
She said, "Give me that check." This is
That's so dope.
She also played Lois Lane in all the original Superman movies.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
Lois Lane. She was in episodes of Tales from the Crypt. She was in the Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie sequel to his remake.
Right. How old
Um,
was she when she did the big one?
I don't know, 70s.
Well, I mean, that's not the worst.
It felt like she
had a
Hunter
full
S.
life.
Thompson did. You know, I don't.
Yeah, she had a full life.
Yeah, I think she was just like quality of life's low. Hunter S. Thompson blew his head off because he didn't fucking feel like it anymore. Good for
Yeah,
him, you know.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, I think she did the same. She was like, "Fuck this
very
shit."
common feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like, those are the ones where I'm just like, all right, man.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted.
dig
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
You know, like you just like you decide you lived your full life and you're like, okay, I think this is it.
yeah,
Yeah, you've lived long enough to kind of know.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like,
I
I
get
feel
it.
like I've seen enough.
I've read this
Yeah,
book.
yeah, I get it.
Oh, I'm
yeah.
gonna read this book again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad when it's like someone young because it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, you don't know what's
Right.
left. You don't, you're not giving life a chance. But with like older people like that, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, I get it.
I get it.
You just go skydiving and never undo the parachute.
Yeah.
As an 80-year-old.
Yeah, they're like, we don't know if he just forgot or like he was just trying to go.
Right half a second before hitting the go, woohoo!
It's very much Sean's personality to find a fun way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make balloon animals on my way down.
The thing is, though, that might actually convince me. I was like, fuck, this is sick.
Oh no, I want to live.
But I do want to hit the ground. Because that'll like be the payoff
You're
I'm
gonna
looking
need
for.
to pick one.
I wish I could do both. This is what I'm talking about. I'm so indecisive.
So John Saxon, who played Lieutenant Fuller, we've also had on the podcast as one of the people we talked about because he's
Yeah,
the
because I remember that. His last name had the word sack in it, obviously. I remember that.
Yeah,
well, he was.
he probably
I did.
said something about it.
Yeah, I probably did. To myself.
Actually, I don't think he did.
I know for sure. I was
I'd
thinking
be
about it.
disappointed if he didn't.
Well, he was the cop on.
Be out of character.
Yeah.
He was the cop on From Dusk Till Dawn that shows up on the TV that gives a report. So he doesn't actually show up, but on the TV. But remember, I said it's cool they brought this another horror icon in.
Yeah.
Where he just wanted him in the
And
movie.
he's the lieutenant, or who is he?
So he's the lieutenant in this movie. John Saxon. He was originally going to be. Okay. First of all, most well known for his role in Nightmare on Elm Street as the police officer in that too.
That's where I recognize him.
That's
from.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been in a million things. The list is huge. We covered it more on From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a million things. Obviously, it's a huge list.
Thank you.
Giant list.
Very,
Sorry.
very good.
No, that's not funny.
Goes on forever.
Shut up, Sean.
Well,
Miles.
so he actually didn't get the part initially. It was given to Edmund O'Brien, who was classically trained actor who had been around for a long time, but he was an older gentleman. And when they brought him, this is so sad. When they brought him out to do the movie, he came out and they went out to dinner with the director and the writer and some of the other people that worked on or were going to be working on the film. And he got up in the middle of dinner at this restaurant and said, "I need to go to my room." And they were like, "We're not at the hotel." And he started not recognizing people. He actually had been suffering from Alzheimer's, and they didn't, nobody wanted to be the one to like break the bad news. And then, I guess nobody knew it was as bad as it was till he got there. So he was actually ready to shoot.
That went sadder than what I thought it was going to go to.
What'd you think it was going to be?
I thought he was going to be like, "I need to go to my room." They're like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because I shit myself." That's where I thought it was going.
that could have happened.
That could have happened too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that probably also. So yeah, that's
maybe,
not as funny in this context. You're right.
Not as funny in this context anymore. It
You
just
say he had
immediately got
Alzheimer's.
sad, and I was just like, "Fuck."
He had Alzheimer's. He had to go home. He didn't get paid, and also he shit his pants.
Yeah. But also, it just like if he didn't have Alzheimer's and he just got up at the table and was like, "I need to go to my room," and they were like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because I shit myself," and they were like, "You can't be in this movie anymore." I was like, "That's a wild response, dude."
Jesus Christ, yeah.
I ruined my chances of being in this movie because I shit my pants at a restaurant.
Well, another person immortalized by this film that wound up in it because of someone else having to drop out was the character of Phil or Phyllis. That character was originally going to go to Gilda Radner. And Gilda Radner had to turn it down because she was starting episode 1, season 1 of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah. So lucky for Andrea Martin, who got to fill in for that role, who would then go on to play Miss Mac in the remake because they wanted to make sure they got somebody from the first one to come and be.
Thank God Miss Mac is still in the remake.
Oh yeah,
Is she just as lovable?
She's still lovable, but she's definitely not as much of a lush. She could have been more.
Not
of a
as
lush.
much of a what?
A lush.
Miss Mac is who I aspire to be,
Oh.
but more than likely, sometimes I'm a barb, dude.
It's really cute that you think you're just not a barb.
No. I've worked on myself. I've worked on myself.
No, you could be both.
So, yeah.
When you're Dancing Ray is Miss Mac.
Dancing Ray is Miss Mac.
Yeah.
And I try to be Dancing Ray as much as I can.
Posture Ray? That's all Barb.
That's all Barb, baby.
That's all Barb.
That's all Barb.
Andrea Martin.
Fucking just come out and say it, dude.
Okay. Andrea Martin would go on to do many films, but one of her earliest films is Cannibal Girls, which is just fun,
That does sound fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's great. But yeah,
Movies about girls. All right. And they're cannibals. I'm in. Sorry.
and then her.
Or it'd be the opposite because they were like, this movie's about cannibals.
Yeah, they're like,
It's kind of scary. They're girls.
oh!
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
He's just so progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, but it's still the 1970s. They can't be black yet.
No.
No, but women.
Women, yes.
yep. Step one.
Originally, he was just like, they're cannibals. And he's like, and they're black. And he's like,
Also
made it
Jewish.
worse.
Huh?
Black cannibals. Jeez.
The guy's just like, I don't want this movie. No, they're not
No.
black. They're girls. They're girls.
It's not because I don't want black actors in movies. I just think it's a little racist. He's just getting defensive.
He's just getting real defensive about it. He's like,
Dude,
no.
One of my best friends, he's a
He's a cannibal.
you
Fuck
fuck.
yeah, dude.
Anyway,
What were you saying?
she would go on to voice. You're right. Thank you.
Dude, you can't just say it like we were.
Oh yeah. You can't just say it like we weren't just talking about the person. Fuck you. No, you're right though. I do need to check
Like we
back
didn't
in.
just go on a tangent. You want me to
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
the sentence?
Andrea Martin.
Andrea Martin.
Who
she-
played?
who played Phil or Phyllis.
Phyllis.
She would go on to voice Aunt Miriam in the Rugrats TV and film.
Oh, nice.
And
That's
also
a big part of my childhood.
all the My Big Fat Greek Weddings.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, actually.
Also, another one we need to cover is Jess Bradford. The character Jess Bradford was played by Olivia Hussey. Rough last name.
Oh, don't call her that.
Yeah. That was, and especially back then, that
Yeah,
was like,
it's-
wow, that's actually. Was that a family name?
Yes.
Yeah, my mother.
Yeah.
It was her profession.
Yeah. Oh, you know, she's a hussy.
My last name's Johnson because I'm John's son.
Yeah.
Hussy because my mom's a fucking. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it.
I'm amazed he went clean on Johnson. I thought he was going to go.
I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna go.
Oh, because of the cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we both thought you were going there.
Yeah, but it's not. Well, hussy's not actually another word though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like John. I don't know if you guys. That's in
John's
first
son.
name.
Okay.
John's son.
Hey, can we move on?
Yeah, sure. If you
Great.
want, dude.
Thank you.
Live your life, dude. Don't let me stop you. All right?
Okay. So she was a child actor in the 60s, but when she was a teenager, she actually did, she played Juliet in Romeo and Juliet, and one of the most famous versions of it that actually was the one they showed in classrooms for years. A lot of people, probably in your 30s and up, might remember being shown the 60s version of Romeo and Juliet.
Mhm.
This is what
I
she's.
think I saw that.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
They played Romeo Must Die in my school. And I think it was because they were trying to make it cool. They're like, we're trying to get them into it.
What is the
Cool.
cultural significance of Romeo Must Die?
Fuck, I don't know, dude. Well, because it's Romeo and Juliet, but it's done to be modernized. You know which version I'm talking about? It's like John Leguizamo,
John Leguizamo. No, that's
Leonardo
not.
DiCaprio.
That's not.
Romeo Must Die.
That's just. It's just Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, is it?
Romeo Must Die is the one with Jet Li and DMX. I
Oh,
think.
yeah, that's right, dude. That was good too. That was good too.
Is it DMX?
Might be
There's a
DMX,
rapper in there
yeah.
with him. I think it's DMX. Anyway.
DMX and Jet Li. What a combination.
And then at the
dude.
end, they just make out and kill themselves.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Anyway. She was also went on to be in The Cat and the Canary, Psycho 4. She played Norma Bates in Psycho 4. She was in the TV version of It, the original one with Tim Curry and everything.
Yeah.
And then a classic 90s, somewhat forgotten, but everyone should watch because it's crazy, is Ice Cream Man from 95, which is one of those mid-90 weird horror where people weren't sure, like, we still doing the slasher thing? What are we doing here? And like, it's bizarre, but it's fun. So she actually gets this wonderful credit of being recognized by Steve Martin because this is one of Steve Martin's favorite movies.
Black Christmas?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He
That's
said
wild.
he said in an interview that he'd seen it over 20 times, and that was like back in the 90s. And he actually recognized Olivia Hussey from an audition for the film Roxanne, which was the Steve Martin film, and said it was one of the coolest moments ever to have Steve Martin be like, "I love your work," and she's like immediately was like, "Oh, Romeo and Juliet," because that's what everybody always points out. And he goes, "No, Black Christmas." So that's fucking dope. So another point for Steve
Did she
Martin.
get the role?
That's a wonderful question.
Anyway,
Anyway,
it's fucked up if she didn't. He's like,
know.
I don't
oh
think she
my
did
god,
that.
I'm
I love
a
your work.
huge fan.
But you're not right
this-
for the role.
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I love your work. Something else.
If this was
Yeah.
Christmas and murderous, yeah.
Yeah. Another famous name.
We should have had Steve Martin on for this episode.
He would've
yeah.
loved
What a
this.
missed
I
opportunity.
I forgot to
dude.
text
I didn't
him.
even know that was his favorite movie. Damn, dude.
Yeah, I next year I'll remember to text. him.
Yeah, sorry, Steve.
He
just
just does
realized.
every single thing that has anything to do with Black Friday.
Yeah, right.
Another person that absolutely loved Black Christmas.
Your mom.
Fucking asshole.
Slightly cooler in terms of cultural significance.
Okay.
Elvis
Yeah.
Presley.
Oh.
Elvis Presley,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
And
Ah,
it
that's
makes sense
crazy.
because if you look at Elvis Presley in the 70s, that boy was just fucking ripping it, dude. That boy was straight drugs and alcohol
Yeah.
for the last few years of his life. So,
Didn't he marry his cousin?
no, he married a
14-year-old.
teenager. Yeah.
Oh, that's worse.
Woo!
Yeah, he had a child bride.
Yeah, which they actually, Kelly Presley is
Damn, wish it was his cousin now.
Yeah. There was another rock star from that time too that like married his cousin.
So many.
Oh,
Cousins? I don't know.
Yeah,
The
the-
minors, I feel like.
she was a minor too, I think.
Oh,
This is
that's worse.
The Great Balls of Fire, the piano
Berry?
song.
Oh,
Chuck
no,
Berry.
Johnny Cash?
No.
okay. Let's
Oh, that's Burning Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
Richie Valens? Nope.
You know, honestly,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Anyway, they named one of
Either
the
way, don't do that shit.
yeah.
Don't do that. Don't marry. First, don't marry
You know
minors.
what? Let's
Yeah.
just go ahead and say this: we at Reasonably Afraid are against marrying minors.
Mhm.
And your cousins, but that is not as bad. So
Yeah.
I want to put that distinction and say they're both.
Right.
It's because
Right.
well, one's more just like don't. That's weird as fuck. The other's like that's bad.
You know what you get when you
That's
when you
bad.
marry minors? This guy right here. You don't need more of this. So
Yeah,
remember that.
that's so true. Actually, dude, and thank you for putting that out there, man.
Yeah. I'm a warning.
So brave.
Thank you.
Oh, chills.
All right, I don't want to keep going through. There's a lot of people that are great in this movie, but it seems like this will take up all our time because
We are every time you rattle another one off, we
Yeah,
fucking,
I mean,
we're
it's
on
your fault.
fire
It's
right
your
now,
fault. Here's
dude.
what
this is the
gonna
problem when you guys
We're
are
on
on fire.
fire.
It's
No,
like
no, no, here's what I'm gonna ask. This
yeah,
is
go ahead.
serious.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
A lot of great people in this movie, right?
Sure.
Favorite performance? Go.
Good. Oh, nice one, dude.
Ooh, Barb, hands down, easily.
Barb.
Barb.
I'm not surprised when you say that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Zach?
I've been vocal about it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
You have a fucking problem?
heard
Oh,
barb
right.
a few right now. A lot of barb energy going on
Oh,
over
yeah.
there. You reel the fuck in. For me, I'm more of a Miss Mac. Honestly, I
That's
really,
fair.
I really enjoy Miss Mac. You know,
Yeah.
sad to see her go when she gets fucking hooked and laddered.
Oh.
I like
about
that,
you?
you guys. But and I like how both of those characters are short for something like Barb's Barbarian
Yeah.
and Macintosh. She's a computer.
Well, her name is actually Barbara too.
Oh. What?
Miss Mac's first name is Barbara.
Is it really?
Yeah, Barbara McHenry.
Is that like? Oh, did they say that in the movie? I must have missed
That should have been a prequel. Barb and Barb.
Barb and
Barb.
Barb.
Damn.
Just hitting the town.
Barb and Mac. Hit
Barb
the town.
and
Mm-hmm.
Mac.
Who was your favorite?
I was enjoying that first girl until she died quick. Something about the way she carried herself.
Yeah.
I'd also say I did like the cop a little bit, but he's kind of annoying.
The
The
silly
main
one.
cop, the main detective.
John Saxon.
Nah, the idiot,
The
goof,
goofy-
The goofball.
Yeah.
Barb was cool.
Those cops are really incompetent, dude.
They were so incompetent. I mean,
Yeah.
that pissed me off. Can we talk about that one more time and just
Yeah,
say
which
the
is
ending of
a
the movie?
tough stretch for.
No, because I
Yeah.
love this movie.
Police.
I love this movie, but I'm
Yeah.
being serious. It actually really bothered me that they left. Like
They were
that.
that- yeah.
Honestly, that kind of like ruined the movie. When I saw that, like I did an eye roll. I was like, bro, what? They didn't check the attic.
Yeah, it did bother me too.
It's like, dude,
Yeah.
I'll say this: I've watched and listened to a lot of true crime stuff, and especially anything before like the last like 10 or 15
Sometimes it is
years.
the most obvious thing.
Dude, the amount of police negligence in collecting evidence and
Yeah.
doing things that seem fairly obvious is insane.
It is.
It's
Megan
unreal.
yes,
Megan brought
like,
up a case where like there was a girl who died in her dorm room and no one checked, and her body was there for like weeks.
Crazy.
Here's but here's what I'm gonna say is because I do agree. Like I was like, okay, yes, cops are incompetent a lot of the time, sure, but the guy, the main one, the lieutenant, is portrayed as he's supposed to be competent, And like,
right, but
dude,
he's still just as incompetent as everyone else.
yeah. And there's fucking the whole place is filled with them. There's so many people there. I guess they were
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe someone else checked it. Obviously, I mean, the house was coming from inside the house, and two
Yeah.
bodies are still moving.
And you're not going to search the entire house.
Don't you want to find the bodies?
Right. Don't
Yeah.
you want to figure out which phone he was calling from?
Yeah. They
Wow.
go, oh, that other line
Yeah.
doesn't get used or whatever. And you're like,
Right? Which
how do you
other
know that?
line?
Yeah. Where is it? Go find
Yeah,
it.
where is it?
So yeah, and I love this. Like, I honestly, this was one of the better movies.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen, especially compared to the old ones. Like, I feel like it's. I don't know. Is it comparable to I feel like Halloween. I think I prefer, especially because of the ending.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd say Halloween's better than this for me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
I think
enjoying
I'd
them
agree with
most.
that.
Like, I was engaged. I was equally engaged during both movies, but I
Right.
think Halloween stuck the landing better, and I mean, I guess they just were able to show more, but the kills and shit. were,
Right.
like,
There are
like-
things that I like about both of them separately for separate reasons. Like, I really like that you didn't see the killer in Black Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
I really love that.
yeah.
But then, like, you can't do that with Halloween because, like, Michael was so
Because that's part of the
fucking
driving
iconic.
force.
It's-
Yeah.
But yeah, one of my favorite scenes in this movie was them trying to trace the call. And it just reminded me like how old this movie was because he's physically running around to trace the
Yeah.
call. I was like, this is hilarious, dude.
It's also wild to think about just like how far technology's come in like
Yeah.
such a fairly short amount of time. I
Where
mean,
it's just computerized. You just got to keep them on the line for long enough for the program
Yeah.
to catch up. But like back in the day, it was like, no, you got to keep them on the line long enough so I can fucking make it there physically, dude.
so I can run across this fucking basement or whatever.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude.
That guy must have been pissed when they developed that technology. Fuck.
He's like, are you
I'm
serious?
the running guy.
That's like my whole. What else? What job am I gonna get now?
Yeah. That's all I do.
I have a very niche set of skills.
Yeah.
But he's not that good at it either. He was taking his time on some of those.
When the machine came out, he tries to race it. He's like, this machine can't out fucking run me, dude.
He makes it. He's digital now. He somehow like trons it.
So there's a couple of, there's a lot of really cool information about this film that we're going to hop into, but I do want to talk about some of the inspirations for this. Bob Clark, a lot of people attest to the fact that, and God rest his soul, R.I.P., him and his son died in a car accident in 2006, shortly after the remake had come out, which he was an executive producer on, which the Weinsteins did their usual fucking bullshit. And when you watch that movie, do not blame Bob Clark or that director or that writer for why that movie is such fucking dog shit. The fucking Weinstein shot a bunch of stuff. We'll cover it at some other point. They shot things for the trailer with other actors and then put it out without his permission. Like, they added in stuff. They had pickups like the Weinsteins, those fucking sleazeballs.
Worst thing Weinsteins have ever done.
Second worst thing.
And you tell me they did that all without his consent.
Absolutely.
Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, really.
But on
really,
brand for them
yeah.
without their consent.
Really living up
Fucking-
to their names, aren't they?
Yeah, really.
Why?
Oh, not their namesake. Just their,
not their
yeah.
namesake, but their reputation.
All of a sudden, Ray's just super anti-Semitic.
That's how we sound.
That's what they do.
That's not what I was saying. That's not what I was saying. I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about the general name. I'm just talking about the general Weinsteins and what they've done. That family specifically.
Yeah.
Not other people named Weinstein.
Well done. This is like on that last episode where you guys tried to make me look racist. It's like we take turns once an episode trying to get the other one
make
canceled.
each other look racist.
Okay, so
That took me a minute to process to be like, wait, what are you guys thinking of?
okay,
I was talking about the awful things they've done.
we got you. No one that listens to the show thinks
The
that you're-
Weinsteins.
Oh.
say their names, right? Okay. So a couple of things that we should cover for different for different inspirations for this film. There was a series of murders in Quebec before this film that
Way to-
definitely it
way to
was
suck the energy out of the room.
late. Yeah, sorry. There's real life things that help people make this kind of movie.
You get off on this, don't you?
God damn it.
Oh, sorry. I have to say it was very inspiring. This thing, man, this
I
thing will
didn't make
spark
the movie.
You're like, this thing, hey, listen, I don't know what effect it's gonna have on people, but sometimes these things just spark an idea.
All right. So there were some real life murders along with an urban legend called The Babysitter and the Man Upstairs. Which is the urban legend about the killer being inside the house the whole time and like
Right.
terrorizing the babysitter, right?
Wasn't the killer 14? Was it a 14-year-old kid? Killed his family or something like that? All right. I don't know. Read somewhere.
I don't know.
Well, in the remake, that's the plot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like they actually give Billy a backstory, you know?
He didn't need one.
No, not at all, which is why
That's
it's...
annoying.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. His whole point is he's vague. That's what makes him terrifying.
Wait, so in that one it like confirms that it's like not the boyfriend at all.
Yeah. And that one, it begins with the story of Billy. So,
That's so dumb.
which is why we're not
Way
talking
to
about it.
not understand the film.
Yeah. The tagline for this film, by the way, someone should have been fired for this one. The tagline was, if this picture doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight.
That doesn't even make sense.
No.
That doesn't even. You don't put a picture
Dude,
on.
that sounds like it was written by AI. What
Yeah.
the fuck? It's like not.
Yeah.
You know the guy like. Fuck
That sounds like
you,
someone.
cook.
That sounds like it was written by someone who doesn't understand consent.
This is a relative of the Weinsteins in Canada.
It actually sounds like someone who doesn't understand English. Like, you just,
Yeah, wait. What is up with their skin? But you wanted them to loosen their skin?
I
What are you talking about?
That you
I'm
wanted-
just telling them to loosen up.
So you want them to age?
It's not a big deal.
All right. So there were different inspirations for this film. And one of them, this one's fucking crazy. There was a serial killer named Wayne Bowden, and he was called the Vampire Rapist.
Okay.
Which I think
did the vampires have it coming? Maybe they were like evil vampires, and that's how he saves. He's like,
That's how he justifies it.
yeah, she was gonna suck my blood.
Well, the problem is
We're like,
that
you just kill him, dude. You don't have to.
It's about sending a message to these damn vampires.
well, the problem is
It's like,
that
he's a very morally gray kind of guy.
this is the problem though. They wrote the name wrong. Like, don't call him that implies that he's a vampire killing rapist. Or wait, or
Oh,
that
is
he's
that
a,
it?
No, they imply that like so the name implies the vampire rapist. So like
No, he rapes vampires.
That's what it
Yeah,
sounds. That's what it
that's what I
sounds
meant.
like.
That's
It
what I
sounds
meant.
like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
rapes
no,
vampires.
he's a rapist who was like biting people.
Oh.
It was basically Ted Bundy
Oh.
before Ted Bundy.
Oh, that's
Like,
not morally gray.
Well, he
Yeah, no,
killed
that's just
no,
he's just all around.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
real
piece of
bad.
shit.
Yeah, real bad. piece of
Yeah,
shit.
real bad
So
piece of shit.
he killed 3 women in Montreal and 1 more in
Oh.
Calgary. Cool guy.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bold
I'm gonna
stance.
be
bad
honest.
person.
Dude.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
I'll take Jack's side, but I'm not on there. No.
Yeah.
There was another serial killer called William Hirons who they referred to him as the Stop Me Killer because he would write "Stop Me" in lipstick on the mirror, and you may remember that he yells it into the phone several times during the
Oh,
film.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Billy says, "Stop me!" So he's like, but kind of begging to be stopped. Whatever part of him is still, you know.
I'd like to think when he wrote that in lipstick, like the tone wasn't like "stop me." It was more like Jim Carrey's "somebody stop me."
Yeah, that's what you wanted. Jesus Christ!
Stop. Me killer.
All right, we can move on.
Okay. Olivia Hussey actually went to go see a psychic before this movie, before she had done this movie, and the psychic told her that she would get a job soon and that she would need to go to Canada, which is pretty interesting. She doesn't tell that story. Bob Clark tells that story. Bob Clark told a lot of stories. Bob
Right.
Clark was a beloved man in film, and you could tell he had a lot of sincerity to him. There's old interviews you can watch where you're like, oh man, this dude seems like a cool fucking dude, you know?
Yeah.
But Bob
One
Clark,
of the founders of this country.
yes, he's on the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage told me. Bob Clark was known to what's the term? Weave a yarn? Is that how you say it?
He was a liar.
Yeah. So, as far as I can find on the internet or anywhere in this world, John Carpenter has never attested to this story being true. Bob Clark said in an interview that him and his buddy John Carpenter were sitting around talking movies, you know, and Carpenter was a fan of the film, you know, and he had said, you know, what would you think a sequel to this film would be? And Bob Clark said, well, you know, I'd want to make it another like seasonal thing, like maybe, I don't know, like Halloween or something. And then he goes, and then maybe like Billy Gets Out, right? Like he's been caught, but now he's like escaping. He's going to escape.
He's taking credit for Halloween.
he goes, but in the same interview, he goes, but part of him knows that he's like, well, I don't want to like bury John, right? So then the interview, he goes, no, there's plenty of things that are different enough in this to where clearly John did his own thing. But it is an interesting. You're like, no, dude, you're saying you came up with Halloween.
That's what you're saying. Jesus, dude.
When both of these movies are based on the same, like these are all urban legends. The babysitter and the man upstairs.
Right.
The guy who escapes a mental institution and goes on a killing spree. Like that was another urban legend. Like these are all things that just already existed.
Right.
And then in the 70s they were solidifying these urban legends on putting them on film. So
right.
like, so he's like, I don't know, Halloween. You're like, you do know, Bob. Why don't you take a break and make
John
Christmas
Carpenter
story?
eventually like say like, hey, like Black Christmas was an inspiration, like
Yeah.
So he didn't even have to do that.
I will say he doesn't say it like it was shitty. It was just Bob
Yeah.
Clark being like, we had this conversation.
We did
so
have this conversation.
just so you
Also,
know.
do you guys know I signed the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah.
They're like, no, that part is actually true.
This film's initial name released in the U.S. was actually Silent Night, Evil Night, which is kind of a sick name. You know, it's a little campier than the movie would lead you to believe, though, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like the movie's not campy like Silent Night, Deadly Night. Like if you watch that horror movie, it's Christmas horror that's much more in your face. You know,
Black Christmas is a far better title. Though.
Absolutely. Well, the original release in the U.S. when it had to be re-released under its actual name, it did better because for a litany of reasons. But one of the reasons why it wasn't going to be called Black Christmas originally was because it was in the 70s. And the 70s was the explosion of blaxploitation. So you had a lot of great exploitation movies that were black-centric and had black in the name. So American distributors were worried that people would be confused that it was blaxploitation and then go in and just see a bunch of white people.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there are a lot of
There's
black
not
people
one,
who went and
yeah.
watched that movie and were pissed.
What is? I mean, I like they're killing all these white people, but could it be a black guy? Jesus Christ!
Gonna name it Black Christmas. There's not a single black person in this movie.
What if there's a Medea's Black Christmas? That'd be so fun.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
They
I
should
would.
remake that.
I've been saying that for years.
Great.
Sorry.
No, you what? You're great. Oh,
I just want it to happen.
you want a fourth remake of Black Christmas?
Yeah.
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 I want him to do it just to piss off all the right wingers. Like,
Yeah.
Well, is it the newest reimagining? Like one of the cast members is black. I think.
the 2019. I don't know. I haven't seen.
Yeah. Well, I just saw poster art for it. I think
2006
one of the
mostly.
main characters is black.
2006 is almost exclusively white, also, but
Yeah.
you know, still had a few more years on that whole
Yeah.
diversity thing.
Weinstein's.
Fucking Weinstein's dog. Fake snow again. It's supposed to be. It's in fucking Canada, and you know, during the winter, and everybody just expected to snow. But as we've seen from other films like Jack Frost, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
They had a local fire department come and pump out a bunch of foam through their hoses, which is super cool. But it was like light foam that looked like actual snow, and they
Whoa.
pull it off in this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Well, they also don't have close-ups with fake snowmen, so that was a little easier to pull off. And off in the distance on 70s film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just looked white.
yeah. Nick Mancuso, who did the voice for Billy,
He did great.
he was terrifying on a lot of it.
Yeah, that was like really uncomfortable, dude.
Yeah, and
I was like, this is so.
I would.
Well done.
Yeah, I would not have hung out with him on set.
and the overlap. Oh well,
Like, dude,
that's
you're
another
too
thing,
good at
right?
it. They didn't.
They did that same thing again, where it's like, yeah, you're not going to be with the guy who's doing the scary voice, right? So he actually stood on his head to do the audio, to do
Really?
to do his voice. He wanted to compress his thorax, right? He wanted his diaphragm to be like pressurized so that he would sound crazier, which is pretty cool. I mean, he really got a unique, terrifying sound to come out of a person. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Wow.
but the fun part about it is that's the version we got, but the version the girls got on the other end of the phone call was actually Bob Clark, and they said he was saying worse stuff than what, and they also weren't told what he was going to be saying because he improvised a lot of it. So he was just, saying
Yeah.
like horrible things to these girls, and so a lot of that like shock on their faces is like hearing this guy who's their boss
Yeah.
just call him a cunt and shit, which is fun.
Yeah.
Like I took a shit on the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. I invented the word cunt. That was me. I was the guy.
Actually, John and I were talking one day.
And
I was
said-
the first person who ever put a penis in another person's asshole.
Yeah, and I said it's correct. I said this is how you make babies now.
It's disgusting things, but they're also just lies. He's just making shit up.
There was a novelization done of this film that's it's very rare. It's been out of print for a while. Lee Hayes wrote it, and the novelization was actually 166 page, or based on the 166 page script, which would have made the film over 3 hours. So, needless to say, a lot of the stuff that we love about this film got to be that way because of removing so much that didn't necessarily have to be there,
Right.
but became a lot of the inspiration used for the second film, for the remake, because the remake is a reimagining, but it's also that director was friends with Bob Clark, and they actually like worked together on a lot of the pre-production stuff for it.
Okay.
So that's pretty interesting that like there's a novelization where you get the Billy explanation. Like,
Oh.
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So I imagine it probably comes out better in a novel than it would on screen.
Yeah. You finally figure out what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, it's better for a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like in a book, you're kind of pissed if it's just left. You're like, what fuck happened?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
But in a
Oh,
movie, you
totally.
almost, especially like with horror, where you almost expect this like, this really unique kind of or different or interesting ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's okay to leave it a little dangling there, Oh, Albert J. Dunk is the camera ops name, by the way. I feel like he deserves a shout out for that incredible job he did playing a killer for most of the movie.
Yeah, just dunking on everybody, baby.
Yeah, sure did. And that's
That's a man living up to his name.
yeah, he did good. I mean, what's name
Good
another
save.
Thank you.
name one of his other endeavors. Go.
No.
All right.
I don't have it. Famously reusing the line, the calls coming from inside the house in the film When a Stranger Calls, which, obviously ripped off the idea of, a second phone line in a home, which was not common, by the way. So this premise is it's a good premise, but it's also a little like two phone lines in a house wasn't common. Maybe more in a sorority house.
Yeah, it's usually like I remember growing up in the 90s, there was only one phone line.
Mhm.
And you picked up the phone, if somebody else is on the other line,
You hear it, and
you
you.
hear it.
Mm-hmm.
However, the line is different.
Intrude.
What?
What?
The line is different though. It's not the calls coming from inside the house in Black Christmas, like everybody always says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I forget what it is, like the callers in the house or something. It's like
Yeah.
it's close, but it's not the same thing that's reused in When a Stranger Calls. However, the premise obviously reused.
Right.
We're on our last two things. There's a lot of giveaways that the killer's in the house if you're paying attention. when you rewatch the movie, because I've seen it a few times now, there's actually, you can see the killer's shadow in the background throughout the movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I didn't notice it until this last watch through.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it a few times before. There's like, it's terrifying when you notice it. You're like, oh my God, he's there, like with the climbing in and everything. Like, you already know he's in the house because of that
Right.
or whatever, right? But like, the proximity is so close.
Right.
Not just those POV moments, but other moments where like he's back there. Like, it's pretty cool. There's like a part where she's like on the phone by the fire,
Yeah.
and like I think she's talking to the police officer about how to keep him on the line or whatever.
Mhm.
And you literally see this shadow like creep by, like hunched over, like in the
Yeah,
background.
These women were murdered by Solid Snake.
Whoa.
Who's that?
Whoa. You don't know who that is?
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh,
The
dude,
very,
really?
very popular PlayStation game.
I know-
It's a
I know
stealth game.
Okay, well I know the game, but I
That's-
don't know their names.
Okay,
Solid
well.
Snake.
Okay.
He's the main character.
That's I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it.
All right,
There's
two.
a whole,
pissed
there's a
off.
whole lore.
All right, two last things. Okay, NBC was going to air this in 1978, and unfortunately, it did not go to air. Did not go to air the year they wanted it to, because 2 weeks prior, Ted Bundy went into the sorority in Florida State and killed 2 women and assaulted 3 others.
I was trying to figure out, like, when that timeline
Yeah.
had happened. Because I was just like, it is, like, eerily similar case to
Yeah.
what this movie is.
Yeah, and you know, they still wound up putting the movie out later, and even with the time and a different name, they called it Stranger in the House.
Mm.
A Stranger's in the House, and like
No.
that didn't help any because it's the same issue.
Yeah, if anything,
Like-
it's even worse.
Yeah, well,
It's
and
like Black Christmas would like, kind of like this isn't it gives it a little bit of distance.
right,
Stranger in the House, that's 100% the case.
yeah. There's no and the other
Not even
problem is
smart.
that like that people were gonna. There was no way around it. If you're gonna air it, people are gonna complain. Like they
Yeah.
complained, and then they said that like, and then because people found out about that because of airing that, and then probably some writer trying to like create controversy to sell papers, as is the way
Right.
of the world.
Do you think he watched the movie?
Well, people went
There's no
back.
way he watched the movie.
He could have.
And
It's in
like,
74. He didn't do this till 78. So it's entirely possible
that he watched the movie
Sure.
and took inspiration because it's so
Yeah.
that case is so much like the movie,
Mhm.
down to like killing a younger girl and then leaving her body like close to the sorority.
Right. Well, and so this is the problem, right? Is that like, especially back in the 70s, before the understanding of the psychological issues that people have and like why serial killers do what they do and whatnot, because that wasn't a thing until the late 70s.
Right.
So like, and he was included into that original group of guys that they were like, that they studied. So, the idea, a lot of people found out about this movie after the Ted Bundy murders because people would be like, oh, there was a movie kind of like this. And then, so of course, then everybody and all these like Christian groups and shit got all like up in arms saying like, these movies are making people do this, when really the movies are based on people who had already done these things.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a wild sort of like
right. Also, a
snake eating
big
its own
problem
tail.
to that too was like that Bundy had like cited that he was like, yeah, porn was what made me do it,
Which is crazy.
fucking
Doesn't make
yeah.
any sense.
I had a bit about that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into it.
Okay,
I
good.
remember it.
Me and John waited. We're like, you doing it or?
No.
Good.
I kind of forgot it, to be honest. Something about wanting to like fight someone after watching Paris Hilton's sex tape or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Last thing, and then we'll do the wind down. And oh yeah, we already pretty much covered this. Telephone rings 13 times during the credits at the end, and
Whoa.
and
Whoa.
I feel like the phone ringing after each kill. I'm going to say conclusively, in my humble opinion,
She died.
she didn't make it.
Died.
She didn't make
Yeah.
it, dog. She didn't make it.
I love that credit. The way they roll the credits as it's still going.
So
like,
yeah.
fucking terrifying.
It still pisses me off. Dude.
there's no
It's so dumb.
soundtrack.
We
it's
leave
just,
her alone, unconscious.
yeah. If anything, maybe this was more helpful for the police. Here's what not to do.
Right. Right.
Just because you think you got the killer doesn't mean you leave a woman alone when she's
clearly
unconscious.
learned nothing
Yeah.
in terms of like how much incompetence was around Ted Bundy's case.
Oh my God.
Like
yeah.
people treat Ted Bundy like he was a fucking genius. It was
Yeah.
like, no, the cops were just incredibly incompetent.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why OJ went free for most
Yeah.
of his life after killing his wife and that guy
And that guy.
and that poor guy. Anyway, it's fun.
Yeah. What a movie.
Any final thoughts, Sean?
I wish they didn't do that in the end. I really wish. I wish they just.
50 fucking years. Let it go, dude.
I'm not. I
Yeah.
just found out about it. All right.
That's true.
I got 50 more years.
Before you could get over it.
Yeah, we do another episode in
I
fucking 50
will.
more years, and then
Yeah.
Sean's just like, I'm still fucking mad.
No, but then like halfway through, I go. Actually, I think I'm over it.
Yeah.
I've had some time to think about it,
Yeah.
and I've kind of made peace with it.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. That's
It's a
the
great
only
movie.
that's the only
Absolutely.
thing that like I would say like is annoying, but I mean
Yeah.
it's not like can't happen,
Mhm.
it is just we have to bank on the idea that they didn't check the attic,
Right. Well, let's do the roundup. I think
Yeah.
we've covered the movie pretty well.
Do it.
Appreciate
I
you
wanna
guys
go
hanging out
first,
with
though.
us. Whoa.
I think I know the budget already, but
Okay.
I've been doing a lot more research and the fucking the budget's like
I know,
the first
I
thing
know,
that
it's-
pops up. It's the first thing that pops up
3.7 million.
Okay.
for the budget.
No, 2 million.
Okay. So Sean.
I went too high. The way you said for the budget.
Okay. So there's Ray. There's Sean.
I
Okay.
swear to God, if it's some 3 something, I'm pissed.
So you're saying 2 million for
two
budget.
flat.
2 flat. Okay.
And they hated it. They hated it, right? I'll go 2.2. I think maybe it barely made.
Actually, don't know the box office, but I think I know the budget.
All right. Hit me.
9 million for the budget.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't even gonna be close then.
Box office. I don't know. I'm gonna go like 36 million.
Hell no.
All
It
right.
wasn't widely received. It wasn't received well.
So you're going
Yeah, 36 is a lot.
damn near even split
36 is a lot,
versus 9 million and 36 million.
but it's not like $50 million that like Halloween did. So
The budget was only $620,000.
Are you serious?
Yep.
holy shit.
you're-
Yeah, I overshot it.
You saw the
You saw the box.
remake.
Oh,
That's
You're
the
right
remake.
though. You're right,
That's
but
what
that's the
the-
remake.
that's the
nice.
remake
All right,
budget.
I
Okay.
win.
Yeah,
Yep.
you did
So
win.
Sean's got that one. Okay. So that's
But
one
did
point
I
for
win?
Sean.
Box office.
Okay. And the box office roundup, $4 million.
Oh.
4 million?
Ooh, yep.
That ain't shit, dude.
It's too
Most of that
big.
was made in Canada. It did not do well in the U.S. I think it only did a couple grand in the
Yeah,
U.S.
Canadians
wow.
love that shit though.
Okay.
Well, people
Okay.
were not ready for Christmas horror when this first came out.
No, I don't
in the
I
US.
wasn't.
There was a lot of protests in the U.S. about this, not just
Ruining
what
Christmas. It ruined Christmas
yeah,
for a lot of people. I don't want to name
yeah,
names.
definitely not alcohol or family trauma. It's
No.
for sure the movie.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
I
that
know.
movie, not my dad.
Yeah, that's the last that he yelled at you.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
like, Black Christmas made me do this, Ray.
Yeah.
Sorry if I
And
brought
that
you back there.
resonated with me.
yeah.
I took
Him
that
too.
to heart. Yeah.
Oh my God, now you
And I was
finally
like,
watched it.
that movie ruined my family.
So, still a good movie.
Still a
but-
good movie.
Gotta say, the center of my abuse, still a good movie.
Still a good movie.
Okay, so
The worst thing that ever happened to my family in general,
Honestly.
but really well shot.
I say, like, imagine if Ray's dad never saw Black Christmas.
how different things would be.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we're gonna
Be a
do.
better person.
Nah. All right, so
He was inspired by Barb.
yeah.
He was like, that's the person I
Hey,
need
that
for
could-
the rest of my life.
That could be me.
So Sean takes all of the budget and box
Thank
office
you.
on that one.
Thank you.
Good shit.
Ray, time for
Fucked up.
time for redemption, dude.
Fucked up.
Time
Yeah,
for
you go
redemption.
first.
Oh,
this
I
time.
got
You go
Strangers.
first.
I got Strangers.
No.
No, we still got to do Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Rotten
have a chance.
Tomatoes?
You have a chance
Oh,
to tie.
okay. So since this is an older one, I know the older ones are like highly revered more often than not. So I'm gonna say, critics gave it a 92.
Okay.
But audience gave it an 86.
Sure.
Audience gave it 85.
You piece of shit.
And the critics, I think it's actually I think it's probably contributing like the old. I'll go 77. I think some of those old folks back in the day were like, "Oh, this is nonsense. They hate Christmas. There's a war on Christmas." It just started with this movie. This
Now,
is the original
unfortunately,
war on
their
Christmas.
vote wouldn't count because
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes audience scores is only based on
No,
the people that have-
critics
Oh, the critics. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you. So you're saying 85
for audience,
for audience?
77 for
Oh, okay.
critics.
Critics.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you said that because I had it backwards.
Ah,
So
come on.
77 and 85.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So 77 and 85 versus 92 and 80
Yep.
or 86?
86.
86.
Oh, 86.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, the critic score is 71%.
Fuck.
And the
Ooh, that was
audience
pretty
score is 76%.
Oh my God, 4-0, baby. Let's
Buddy.
go.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, you got a Patreon episode to catch up.
Alright.
It is a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
I feel good.
I do want to let you guys know I've been going through.
This is the worst Christmas I've ever had in my life.
Man, I
Just
thought it
based
couldn't
on
get any
that
better.
moment right there.
There's
Well,
another
That
great
is
Christmas
the worst
moment
thing
for
that's
me.
ever happened to me on Christmas.
Just another good memory for Sean.
The holiday that just keeps on giving. This is awesome.
So I want you guys to know
I'm gonna
that
remember this moment for the rest of my life. No other horrible moment from Christmas will
Man.
ever be as bad as this moment right here.
Dude, you know what's crazy? It's like, because like, I'll probably remember, but it'll be like surrounded by so many other good memories. I don't know, man. This is it's up there. It's probably in the top 20
top 20.
because it is
Jesus
great.
Christ.
There's just so
That's
many.
really good for you. Huh?
Thanks, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever had a full sweep. That's wild.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
was good,
yeah.
honestly.
Good for you. You know what? Maybe that's a great Christmas present. Greatest
I've
Christmas
learned
present you know.
nothing from my falls. Sean's getting better at it. I'm getting worse.
Yeah, it's good. Balance the scales.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Which is wild because
This is
I'm actually
awesome,
looking at
dude.
numbers too.
So I do want to tell you guys that I've been counting up your end of the year.
Oh.
I'm not done yet, so don't worry. You don't have to do this now. But
Who's ahead?
I've been counting it. I'm only because the first episodes we didn't have our format.
Who's
down.
ahead, Zach?
Just give me a second. We didn't have the format down yet. So
Okay.
the scores and budget and box office are all over the place. Half the time we didn't even finish the fucking things. So I'm literally listening through full episodes of our old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I've only gotten up to episode 7, and I think 8 is when we actually get it right. So
Okay.
I think I'll be able to do it faster from now on. I won't have to listen to the whole episode to find it. Right now you guys are tied
Whoa.
12-12.
Not
Not
bad.
for long.
So once I finish the rest,
Just wait. Yeah, finish the rest.
gonna get
You'll see.
tight.
You'll all see.
I got a couple sweeps still left though.
Yeah.
After episode 8, there's a couple sweeps in there.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
No, I know for sure.
candy canes are fucking great.
You're good. It's good.
I got the
yeah.
lifesaver kind.
Oh.
None of that fucking,
No.
Those are the best ones.
none of that peppermint shit.
Yeah.
Hell no.
You're a mean one.
Mr. Green.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
Love you
thanks,
guys.
honestly.
We do want to say, if you haven't joined the Patreon yet, Sean, what should they do?
I would say join it, honestly.
That's a great idea.
I mean, right?
Join that Patreon.
Join the Patreon. We're having a lot of fun over there. We got a bunch of episodes out. By the time this comes out, probably right around the same time, we'll have out The Strangers, which is our Christmas present to one of our top tier members, Kelly.
And I think we
let
got
her-
like too many episodes coming out, right?
yeah.
We
We
got
got
too many episodes for you on
not
the Patreon.
not too many. Too many.
Too many.
Episodes. Not too many.
You can never have too many. So we do want to say thank you to all of our Patreon members. Of course, Nicole and Kelly, our top tier members, and all our free members as well. Thank you guys for just being supportive that way.
Yeah.
But a special shout out also to our friend Jackie and to Dank Sinatra.
Dank Sinatra, dude, the dopest name.
Yeah, our newest
Sinatra.
our newest $5 tier member. And of course, you can check out all our stuff, all of the places. Like, subscribe, share, all that shit. Comment if you see a thing; it helps.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're all pretty princesses. We hope you had a Merry Christmas, and we love you.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I almost crumpled up the wrong one. Oh, I got two. You guys want to try hit?
No, I'm scared. You give it to Ray.
Okay.
That's the worst. It's worse.
Go for the top.
I got it, baby.
Me, you, sex time.
Hey.
Man getting bit by an alligator in the street.
Swallow this.